Good morning, everybody. It's Sunday. It's Angelic Messages with Teri, Hunter, and Lucky. Welcome. It's going to be a big week, everybody. We've got Pluto conjunct Jupiter. It's going to be a big few days. Look at Lucky's face. He does not like to be on camera. It's so funny. He's like, can I go sit on my bed? Are you done showing me off? He looks a little scroungy. You wouldn't know I just gave him a bath. Hi, Juan. It's great to see you. Welcome. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good day. Okay. How's everybody doing under this new world we're living in? Hi, Cole. It's good to see you again. It's been a while, I think. Okay. All right. So, we have Jupiter conjunct. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Stephanie. Or Stephanie. Am I saying that right? Stephanie. I must be saying that right. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Dude. Hi, Barbara. Good morning, Small Wildflowers. Good morning, 14 Ree. Good morning, Tanya. So I don't know if you guys were around for our little Wednesday get-together, but it was fun. It was fun to check everything out and see how everybody's doing. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, Peachy Gin. Good morning, Peter. Ninth Obvious. Alan. It is interesting to the adaptation because, I'm used to kind of being by myself. I'm used to social distancing, I guess one might say. But it's been very, there's a weird energy in the air. Makes it feel funny. Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Latoya. Good morning, Love One. Good morning, Shelly. Good morning, Jules. Sadami. Guru, I don't know if I said that right. Bless, welcome back. Good to see you, James. Welcome. Okay, so I started to say we have Jupiter conjunct Pluto. This is really awesome, guys. It's at 24 degrees. My sun is at 23 degrees, squaring this aspect. So I've given it a lot of thought. How do I want to, think about it? And what else has been very interesting is that things have bubbled up that haven't, I got a phone call randomly from someone in my family that I haven't spoken to in quite some time. And it was so Plutonian. It really just brought up all the old stuff and bubbled it to the surface. And, it didn't really go well, but it was to be expected. Anyone seen the viral kids are putting down rainbows in their communities? That's so sweet. I've really enjoyed this singing of everybody. Chicago has taken after Italy, and apparently there certain neighborhoods are flashing lights in their homes, and then they're breaking out in song. And I'm assuming that they're going through the Nextdoor app to connect on what songs to sing. But I think it's fabulous. Ninth Obvious. A lot of us, I found a lot of people have been saying that they've been living alone for a long time. This isn't anything new. Is that in your natal chart, Stephanie, that Neptune is conjuncting that aspect? Hi, Karen. Yes, you should probably do that. Yes, you may still contact me for that. That's awesome. Okay. Oh, drawings everywhere to make the city pretty. That's nice. Yeah, families are interesting. But this is what I want to say is that initially it triggered me in a kind of an old patterned way. And then I found myself suddenly coming at ease, recognizing not only the pattern, because I had to recognize the pattern on the other side. And that person isn't even aware they're in a pattern. They're not at the same vibrational level that I communicate at. I'm trying to say this with my Libra diplomacy. But my point is this, is that I think that while some of the challenging aspects of Pluto and the expansive aspects of Jupiter we may find people getting, really polarized by this discussing, how they should run their lives, how things should go. And there may be a little bit of you're wrong and I'm right kind of thing. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that as a conscious tribe of people, we may have to bite the bullet this week a little bit, in the sense of not engaging or not fueling the fires. And in that respect, allowing Pluto's control and Jupiter's higher vibration of higher wisdom connection to the angelic realm to lead the experience. I found myself on some level being like almost two people in the conversation. And the more I was stepping into the person I have nurtured myself to be, the more I inflamed the other side, the more calm I displayed. It almost feels like it makes the other person cuckoo. So anyway, my point is this, is that as we see that we're swimming through a storm right now, and the world is changing historically. You know, the world's not going to be the same anymore. It's going to be akin to 9/11. We're going to implement different types of devices to protect ourselves or to manage things like this from happening in the future. So we really are breaking ground, and we are history, making history right now. Cole, how do I determine which planets in my natal chart after conjunct? What you want to do is look at the transits and then look for the squares or the oppositions or the sextiles. The planets are always in some relation talking to one another. Good morning, Mr. Torres. Good to see you. Welcome. Shelley, I think I said hi to you. Stephen, of course. Are you good? Are you sick, Stephen? Are you actually just have a cold, or are you part of this large group of people? Yes, virtual air hugs to everybody, yeah. Okay, let's jump into our readings. Oh, I've been eating too. I don't know what's been going on with me and salt. I've really been into I don't know if I'm supposed to, I'm not plugging any, but ruffles with ridges and French onion dip, like from my childhood. And then I got really nostalgic and I went on Zillow and I looked up my childhood home, and I had a complete meltdown because there were 87 pictures of this remodel that they did that I thought was terrible. And I just cried. It was just crazy. How do I figure out which planets in my natal chart are conjunct? They're the ones that are within a degree or two as a true conjunction of each other. Within a house, in some ways, they're having a conversation because they're in the same room and they're talking about the same subject. But an actual conjunction is 2 degrees, and some people are really strict with it as 1 degree, and obviously right on top of it. And that means that they are having a party. I think we're all getting our pants a little bit tight. I'm kind of surprised. I feel it in my feet and my hands. Tiffany, you've got to put good food in your system. Good morning, oil painter. I love ruffles, man. They're so yummy. Okay, I think we'll jump into our readings unless anybody wants to bring anything up they want to talk about real quick. Oh, nice. Mercury in Aquarius. That's the fun side of what's going on. Wow, Lisa, that's pretty cuckoo. 15 days alone. Are you talking to yourself? I found myself talking to myself so much yesterday. Literally, I was having completely nonsensical conversations. I don't follow Rick Levine. I know who he is. I had forgotten about him, but I do watch him. I used to watch him years ago. He's an OG, man. I've been watching, I don't know, I've been watching other astrologers, and Lada. Lada just put out a great video. I watched that yesterday. Welcome, baby chicken. I know. I always talk to myself too, but now I'm feeling like I'm having full-blown conversations with myself. Like somebody's asking a question, somebody's answering. I don't know. I'm a little nutty. Okay. Venus and Pluto are both at 24 degrees for me. Is that Cole in your natal chart? Because that would be an absolute conjunction and transformation of the feminine energy and all things Venus, money, possessions, things like that. I'm not actually in Chicago. I'm actually in Laguna Beach, California. And I was watching this stuff on the internet. Julie, that's again, transformational degrees at Pluto in the 11th house of service and whatever you're enslaved to. So this is what I think this this time gives us, this opportunity for reflection and to really, in this sort of shutting things down, I think that we can inadvertently shut down everything. And I don't think we should do that. I think it's a time to really kind of assess what's truly bringing joy into our lives and what is disruptive of that. Okay. Air signs and fire signs are losing their minds right now. I totally get it. I'm an air sign and I'm a rising fire. Thank you, Latoya. I think I tease myself. Sometimes I say it's the best conversation I'll have all day is to talk to myself. You have the last 4 planets in retrograde. Is that in your natal chart? Okay. So sometimes, baby chicken, the natal planets, when they're retrograde in your chart, can be beneficial to you, especially like a Mercury in retrograde. When Mercury's in retrograde, it's supposed to be beneficial for you. And it also is a time to reflect on what those planets and what the house represents. It's also stellium. So if they're all in the same house. When I look at my chart, I kind of, the aspects that are hitting me right now are going to be going on for so long that I'm not quite sure I want to look very much either. At least Saturn is off of me now. Saturn has moved into Aquarius. I won't see Saturn aspecting anything significant until it goes retrograde later this year. So I just want to, before I start the readings, I want to bring up just as a tribe, when we watch this world transform and we watch people reacting to the transformation, do our best to be as totally calm as we can be, and not kind of rub up against somebody, because sometimes when people are in fear, you can't shift them while they're in fear. They need to find a neutral. So letting them work that out. So just be mindful this week of, I don't know, it feels like there could be a blind side coming and a reaction, but, we'll just do our best to sit in the highest vibrations that these planets have to offer us. I wash my hands, it feels like a lot, and I haven't touched anything except I've touched a lot of grocery carts. I don't want to go there. I don't want to think about the domino effect of all the ways you can get germs, because if I go there, we're gonna drive ourselves crazy. Good morning, Ginger. Good to see you here. Welcome, Chris, Astro Anna, Vasco. Anybody else did I miss? Hi, Susie. Good to see you. Okay, and I was wondering, did you guys like doing that Wednesday get together? Because since we're in lockdown, I don't mind doing another one. We won't do any readings per se. Maybe if we did a little something, but if we're all home and basically hanging out together, we could talk about taking some questions on Wednesday, and just have more of a a gathering, sort of just a chat like we're doing now without the readings, because I'm going to do the readings now. Okay, so let's go on to this week's Angel's advice for traversing the transits and this whole new little world. Okay, so we start with Pisces and we work our way backwards. You're going to make me sing that song, Stephen. Now I'm going to have it stuck in my head for hours and hours. Oh, the ship's aground on the shore of this uncharted desert isle. Okay, good, Karen. I'm glad you did. Okay, here we go. I'm going to start with our Pisces. See, first angel that flew out was Opal. So we'll take that. Yeah, we're not doing personal questions, more general. Okay, our second angel for Pisces is Francesca. The third is Serafina. And the final is Chantal. Very interesting. Alan, are you singing too? The conjunct is not necessarily bad, catbird singing. A conjunction is just when two planets are having a very, very close conversation. And depending on the nature of the planets, it could be a challenging conversation or it could be a warm and fuzzy conversation. If you have Jupiter and Venus conjunct, that's, I would think, would be a very warm, fuzzy conversation. And this particular Pluto-Saturn conjunction, I'm sorry, Pluto-Jupiter conjunction right now could really, as Lada stated in her video, make people very adamant about their beliefs. And the transformation of foreign ideas may come through a challenging dynamic. Okay, good morning, Nicole. Oh, great. How's London doing? Everybody, oh, what? Let's all hope it's not all gloom and doom. Yes, it does feel kind of gloomy and doomy. And I want to put it this way, because within the gloom and the doom, there is light, and it's us as a tribe. And while I don't want to walk around like, not being aware of what's going on, I also feel like being hopeful, being faithful, remembering to focus in on what is beautiful about this dynamic versus what is challenging. And that is seeing the people singing in the streets, in the neighborhoods, just, I love it. Anyway, all right. As you guys know, I talk. So let me get on with my Pisces. Opal is being joined by the Truth card. Francesca is being joined by the Love card. Serafina is being joined by the Hawk. And Chantal is being joined by the Wealth card. Well, this is very interesting. So Opal talks about our children on heaven and earth being safe and well cared for by God. And then we have the Truth card. And pardon my manicure, it's been a minute. And I have gel on, I can't even take it off. Okay, so what I want to say for my Pisces is I feel like this is really a time with this Pluto and Jupiter conjunction to go to the depths of what you believe in, the childlike way, in that innocent way that says that, all of a sudden I got this image of, in World War II, there was a sailor saying goodbye to his sweetheart, and there's a picture of him dipping her as he kisses her goodbye, and it became a famous picture. It was like all over the place. And I want to say for Pisces that wonderful things can happen in times of challenge, in times of struggle, because I'm going to go straight to the final position. Chantal is the angel of romance, talking about either the resurgence of a romance or a new romance coming in. And here's the harmonious wealth card. Many of you may be with your lovers or with the people, the objects of your affection in this time of social distancing, but I don't want the people who are single or the people who are by themselves to give up the idea that love is here. Because in the opportunity, the obstacle for my Pisces, rising sun, moon, and stelliums, is Francesca saying, what do you visualize right now that it will come about, and negativity will block your progress? And then there's the Love card. And this is my opportunity, my obstacle. So right now we look at the world, we look at all this craziness. We don't even want to get 6 feet near a stranger, let alone, people that we already know. So I'm kind of saying that cheeky, guys, but because I want to say that on the flip side of this, when we adjust to our new normal, that this might be the time when these things get birthed, and they may be birthed over the internet. You may connect with people, Pisces, rising sun, moon, and stelliums, in a way you had not expected. This is the angel's advice is rising above the situation and paying attention to the signs and the omens in the form of the hawk. And then Serafina says a happy change is coming to your family. So I want to put it this way. Many people may be making connections that they otherwise would not have made, but it won't be in the physical. It may be through virtual dynamics right now. There used to be this platform called Blab, where people could come together from around the world and 4 people could chat in a quad. And then there was the audience kind of like this. That platform kind of went away. And so one of the guys that I met on that, who lives in New York, started doing lives on Facebook and get to know you lives. And so all of a sudden, all these characters, including myself, are back on chatting together. And it's kind of cool. So my point is that if indeed my single Pisces, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. Stelliums is 4 or more planets in Pisces. This is a time to turn over the truth of what you want, your hopes, your wishes, your dreams for love, from family, from friends, from an intimate partner, and allow spirit to really take over, and you hold the line. And this is where the Pluto-Jupiter conjunction can come together. It's where the idea of foreign things, okay, because Jupiter rules foreign things, foreign ideas, foreign places. So this is a foreign environment we're in right now. So I really believe that there is the possibility that digging into a deeper truth, a childlike innocence about the connections you want, and then spirit is going to start to nudge and inspire you. And it may be to join a chat or join a live show and get on camera and talk to some people. Okay, that's it for Pisces. Well, thank you, Thomas, for revealing yourself. My dad's name was Tom. Your daughter's a triple Pisces, and her name is Hawk. Oh, my goodness. This is very much for you and your daughter here. So if you're having any challenges in that relationship, hopefully things will start to get better. Okay, here we go on to our Aquarius. That's Aquarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. I have to say too, this is the other thing. My neighbor, I live on the end of the building. So I have a neighbor above me, a neighbor below me, and a neighbor on that wall back here. And she's a nurse, and she's gone so often. She's gone for, weeks at a time, it feels like. And whenever she's back, you can hear her music. And thank goodness we love the same music, because she plays it super loud. So I don't know if you guys can hear her, the music in the background. Okay. All right, here we go. This is for our Aquarius family. Aquarius, rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. All right. Our first angel is Akasha. Our second is Patience. The third is Crystal. And the final is Ariel. Somebody has a book? What did I miss? We want to support, absolutely want to support our community. I love that idea. Okay, Aquarius. As I'm tuning into Aquarius, I can't help but think about this Saturn and Mars in Aquarius. Oh, Akasha's being joined by the Love card. Patience has been joined by the Choice card. Crystal's being joined by the Protection card. And Ariel's being joined by the Raven. So while I focused on the Pluto and Jupiter in the tidal conjunction, we also have Mars and Saturn. Really, I believe for the next couple of days, they're sitting right next to each other. And then Mars will move off, and they're in Aquarius. Because I want to say for my Aquarius, is I think that this is really, Akasha is the spiritual teacher. And I want to put it this way. I don't think this is about love of other people. I think this is love of self. I think that there is an opportunity to take the Saturn energies, the way I want to put it, and review your lives, and to see actually how, I almost feel like if you did an inventory of your life, Aquarius, you'd see a lot more good in it, or a lot more, I hate the word positive, but I'm going to use it here, than there is negative. And I feel like that's something to capitalize on. It's something to build upon, because in the opportunity, the obstacle, we have the Patience card, which is another card of learning, studying, assimilating. It's not about being patient and holding your breath, waiting for something to happen. And then I have the Mystery card. And I think this is about choice. And when I say choice, I mean the choice to look at what is working versus what isn't working. We're looking at, again, here we are swimming through a huge storm in humanity. Things are changing. We're we're kind of afraid of each other. What are you going to give me? Somebody coughs in line, everybody scatters. If somebody gets too close to you, 6 feet, people are going back up, literally telling people to back up. So I want to put it this way, because Crystal is saying, have faith and hope. There's more on the horizon that you can't see or feel right now. And there's the protection card. And I think that protection comes in your willingness to choose to be in this energy of assessing, of studying, of watching how people and how places and how dynamics are hitting you, and to be loyal to yourself. And because, Aquarius is a scientific energy to me. I think of it with Uranus and Saturn as the two ruling planets, and Saturn being the ancient ruler. It's like combining the old and the new. So I think that's really on board for Aquarius this week, because again, in the final position, we have not again, but Ariel saying that new psychic and spiritual experiences are changing the way you see yourself and the world. And then there's the Raven. And this is about magic, coincidence, and synchronistic events. And here I think it's about magic. And magic for me is the alignment of my belief with spirit. And that starts to manifest. And even through hard times, we can see good things happening. So for Aquarius, I think this is about a time to be loyal to the things you want for yourself, and allow yourself to know that the birthing of that, or the nurturing of that, or the fostering of that at a higher level will help others in the long run. And I think it'll help you too. So looking at the transformation that Pluto offers, with Jupiter representing our beliefs, our connection to spirit, and then also considering Saturn taking the slow, steady pace, and Mars in this particular case, rather than being assertive, Mars being the truth seeker, a deeper truth coming in. Okay, on to Capricorn. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Thomas. That's not easy. I think this is as I hear your trials, I can't help but say that I think that's part of what all of this transformation is. What's the flip side being offered to us is to feel, this sense of love beyond our, how can I put it? Because I believe the soul chooses the family. And I got to tell you, when I started to relate to that concept, I was really pissed off, because I was like, who let me make that decision? But, when I think about it, a lot of the things that have been my greatest gifts have been spawned from, a pile of manure. Okay. All right. Here we go on to our Capricorns. We're going to say Capricorn rising, Capricorn moon, Capricorn sun, and Capricorn stelliums. Good morning, Floral Pal. Good to see you. Vedic astrology is a whole different system of looking at the stars. It's oh my goodness! They only use the 7 visible planets. The outer planets aren't used. In Vedic, I have a rising, and my moon is in Aries, so that's wild. Anyway, so yeah, Cole, there are so many different schools of astrology, and I kind of feel like the best way to be served is to use them as ropes or threads in a tapestry. I don't think any one school is the be all end all, but I do find certain value in certain, like whole sign tropical for me, rather than Placidus works best. So anyway. Alan says, I think that you weren't given the love so you could shower your kids with it. Your gift to your children is what you didn't have. I have to agree with you, Alan. Sometimes I do think that it is the contrasting experience that makes us propelled to walk in a certain path. I did not particularly have, my grandfather was a significant person in my life. My grandmother had some challenges, but she studied astrology, so she could be very fun. But I was born to 2 very young children And look at that. In Vedic, I'm an Aries rising and an Aries moon. And in Western, I'm an Aries rising and a Taurus moon. Was not an easy child to raise, I'm sure. I was quite self-assured in some ways. So my point is that I think in the soul's choice of its experience, it offers so much. I can't help but always want to put it like a garden, you got to throw manure on the garden to make it grow. So, all right, Elizabeth says, I'm a Taurus sun, but I'm a Capricorn rising and Libra moon. Okay, well, we're going on to Capricorn right now. Oh, small wildflowers. Just wear leggings. It's so much easier. You don't notice them. They don't get tighter fast. All right, here we go. All right, Capricorn. Our first angel is Isaiah. The second is Athena. The third is Oceana. And the final is Archangel Raphael. Okay. Yeah, stretchy pants rule. Although I don't like to wear nylon or I like cotton stretchy pants. I don't like kind of feel like plastic. I can't even think of the word. I don't want to use it. I don't want to say a brand name, but a lot of them come in that kind of. My neighbor's playing her music so loud. Can you guys hear it? Okay. Isaiah is being joined by the goblin. Ooh, that's a little challenge. Merlin's being joined by Athena. Oceana's being joined by the frog. And Archangel Raphael's being joined by the stag. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. Isaiah says to give birth to new ideas and new situations. It's a good time to do that, and that you're being protected and you're being comforted by God and the angels. And you can see this woman is being caressed by this angel. And here we have the goblin. Okay, so this is what I want to say. You can hear it, Karen? Okay. It makes me kind of laugh. Anyway, I want to say this for Capricorn. The goblin talks about our wounded human ego. And I don't know if I think that it's really about a wounded ego as much as I think it's about giving birth to new ideas about the ego. The ego is often villainized, or like, oh, you're so egotistical. But the ego serves a great purpose. It is part of a triad. The id, the ego, and the higher self that create the human experience. So I feel like for Capricorn, that as you lovingly assert yourself, you don't have to get up your own grill about your ego. It's almost about, in some respects, Capricorn can be a little bit like, direct is the word I want to say. I don't think you're rude, but direct. And so here we have, Merlin is about balance through pressure. It's about alchemy. It's about making things happen. And you have an opportunity to make things happen through lovingly asserting yourself. And in this respect, the angels are saying, this is going to help clean things up for you. And when I say it I want to put it this way. I don't think it's about cleaning things up maybe with another person or in a relationship. It might be about internal cleanup, like you're okay with it. I told you earlier I had a conversation with a family member. It went in a total patterned place, basically nowhere. And I'm resolved with it. I feel like, I've done the best I can do to show up the best I can show up, and now it's up to other people. And so that's what I think this is about for Capricorn. I think that Oceana is saying, you've taken action, you've lovingly asserted yourself, and now it's time to really acknowledge that. And that's where Athena comes in and asserting yourself, because in the final position is the stag and Archangel Raphael. And the stag is about leadership. It's also about pride. But here's Archangel Raphael, and I feel like this is a healing of what you may be considered prideful, or maybe people have considered you to be stubborn. But I think on some level, you're holding your truth, and it's now you're learning to assert yourself in a way to communicate that truth, that you're feeling good about yourself, even if they don't like it, even if they are not fans of what you have to say. And so that's where I think the ego comes in. So overall, I think this week it might be about an interior job of looking at how you process. Because again, here we go. Pluto is transformation. Pluto brings things up from underneath, secrets, lies, things that we've been concealing. There's Jupiter, who's expanding all of that and wanting to, transform the beliefs to a place of a higher vibration. So that's where I'm kind of going with that for Capricorn. I feel like on some level, you will be holding your own in what you believe and how you want to be, but it's also about lovingly asserting yourself within a dynamic and then backing off of it. That's the way I want to put it. Okay. Oil painter, if you just found a gold dollar, that is a good sign. That means money's coming to you. That's how I'm going to look at that. Okay. Small wildflowers. 3 sizes larger by the time this is over. Oh my goodness. You're going to be, wasn't it Veronica Lake? Wasn't that her name? Or Veruca Lake that turned into the blueberry? Oh, I won't. What? Oh, I won't. It's funny. One of my favorite books that I read as a child. I think I'm going to be a mushy marshmallow by the time this is over, because I'm not getting any exercise. And it feels like, do Teri in the Willy Wonka chocolate bar? That was that little kid, right? It was, yeah, Veruca Salt was the blueberry, but it was the little chunky boy that fell into the chocolate river, right? And then there was Mike TV. What a great movie. What a great movie. We might have to put some movies on the list. Watch some funny movies. You're going to look like a member of ZZ Top? Oh my God, Steven. So you're growing a beard? Woo! All you need is some dark shades and a hot dressed out, smart dressed man. Oh, the bad egg shoot. But she was the bratty one, right? Yeah, she was. Okay, here we go on to our, got so excited, Capricorn, let me think. Oh, Sagittarius, there you are. My brain. All right, Sag, here we go. First angel's Archangel Raphael. He's got his work cut out for him with this thing going on. The next is Sonia. The third is Opal. And the final is Xana. This is really great. All right, now we have to figure out who was the blueberry. Who was the blueberry girl, you guys? I can't remember her name. She was the one that ate the gum. She was the gum chewer. You remember? Can you hear it? Led Zeppelin in the background. Okay, here we go. Hey, Small Wildflowers, I think Tebow is flirting with you. See, there's love in the air. Can happen over the internet. Okay, here we go. Archangel Raphael is being joined by the Fire Fairy. Sonia is being joined by the Restriction card. Opal's being joined by the Goblin. And Xana's being joined by the Risk card. All right, Sagittarius. This is your planet, Jupiter. And, while Jupiter is always been thought of as a very warm, fuzzy energy, everybody loves Jupiter, there are some challenging dynamics to everything, right? And I feel like right now, you may on some level be going through Pluto's dynamic. It may be bringing up some things that you don't want to deal with. And I'm going to say that only because I see the ego in the angel's advice. And I think it may be some stuff that comes from childhood. So I want to say Archangel Raphael is offering a physical healing, and the Fire Fairy is offering creative action and optimism. So I really think, because I'm going to go to the final position for Sagittarius, you're being protected in all ways. And I always think of this as emotional, as spiritual protection, not necessarily physical protection. And there's the risk card. But with Archangel Raphael here, you're being protected in all types of ways. The risk is not about risking going into a germ-infested place, but rather risk the idea of thinking, I'm good. My vibration is such that I'm going to keep myself in a place of faith and of joy. And that is an immune booster, because there's your ego, your guides. It's interesting right now for you, Sagittarius, because we have the restriction card and we have Sonia. I feel like your guides are asking you to take a pause so that you can really reflect on some of the things that have, and I want to put it this way. I say reflect, not chew on, not beat yourself up about, because I feel like if you look into the history, this is a little bit of the child, like, I'm so choppy. If Sagittarius were to look at another sort of doing an inventory, you've always been taken care of. You've always been okay. Things are going to work out, and things are going to work out through this transformation that we're going through. So I want to offer you to remember to have creative action and optimism. And I also want to say this too for Sagittarius. I feel like this week you might want to be mindful of what you're eating. If you have a strong Sagittarius influence and you know that, certain foods really don't make you feel good, or you easily pack on the pounds when you eat them, you might want to use Pluto's energy to flesh them out and move them away. Because I do think it was violet. It was violet, wasn't it? I love that. Did you look that up on the internet, Ricky? Nikki. Sorry. Okay. I hope I made sense for that. I know I'm going to get thumbs down for being choppy. I'm sorry, guys. It's just kind of how I roll. So Tiffany, you have a Sagittarius stellium. Okay. So this is a time. I'm going to kind of round it out. It's a time for you to be optimistic and creative in knowing that you're being protected by God and the angels, both physically, mentally, emotionally, but it's also a time to reflect on how often they have been there for you, helping you to walk through some of the darker days of your life, and you've been protected. You've been, there's been a wisdom that has come out of these things. And now I think if you add them up, it'll make you feel better. It'll make you feel more at ease. I love beets, oil painter. I make beets, and I have been using my beet tops in my shake. I've been making a shake with beet tops, fresh ginger. I've been, kind of slicing it into there. Some coconut water. I threw an orange in there. And I think I threw some blueberries in there, and it was pretty ginger dominant, but it really made my body feel good. It was weird. Well, I don't know if it's weird, but it's weird how much I noticed it. Why are you afraid to eat beets? What did beets ever do to you, small wildflowers? Beets are good. Oh, Shelly, thank you for my bantering. I'm not afraid to eat chocolate either. And last night I wasn't afraid to eat peanuts, and I should be. Chaos theory. It's interesting because Saturn and Uranus are such different energies, and I find it fascinating that they would rule Aquarius, especially Saturn, to be honest with you. But anyway, okay. Oh, so you have a childhood thing about it. Okay, I get it. My mom once made my sister sit and finish her peas. And I remember she sat at the table for hours, and she did not eat them. She flicked them around the house. Nobody knew it until 2 days later. Okay. I like to make my beets I boil them in a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And then I like to eat them with, oh, wow, you guys are going to die when I tell you this, with blue cheese dressing. Love it. Okay. All right. I have to concentrate now. I'm getting off topic. Oh, you're locked down with the enemy. Oh, that would be something that would be really small wildflowers. You don't like blue cheese dressing either. Okay, I'm weird, guys. I like things that taste like dirt. I like things that taste like stinky socks. I'm so weird. Okay, I have to stop laughing. I'm laughing so hard I'm crying. Okay, Scorpio, it's your turn. Here we go. Thank you guys, whoever's doing the timestamps, because I'm really being obnoxious today. Okay, Archangel Gabriel is first, Layla is second, Astera is third, and the final is Maya. I would love to be able to figure out, I'm going to try to find out if I could do a Facebook Live somehow, and then some of you can join in on camera. I think on Facebook Live, you can get up to 7 people. Oh my God, small. You'd rather eat dirt than blue cheese dressing? You have not had a good blue cheese dressing, girl. That's all I have to say. Anyway, so I'm going to, and maybe I could do it on Lada's channel or something. I don't know, on Lada's Facebook. Because I don't know how to reach y'all. So, but anyway, I'll try to reach out to her. I know she's got some stuff going on. Okay, Scorpio. Joining Archangel Gabriel is the novice. Joining Layla is the fire fairy. Joining Astera is the serpent. And joining Maya is the truth card. As I look at this, Archangel Gabriel talks about having a divine life's purpose in arts and communications. And, you know, everything we do nowadays is over the internet. And even more so now that we are all chatting through virtual media. Because I want to say this, I feel like there could be some Scorpios that might find, and I want to kind of go this way, you might come up with some ideas for work or work more over the internet. I think the novice is talking about unstable new beginnings is like, it feels like a reboot of some kind with your work and in communications. And in doing so, I want to say this because I'm going to go to the final position. There's Maya, this card of schooling and education, and then here's the truth card. And I think what this is really about is it could potentially be that you're going to learn that you can, this is how I want to put it, because the truth card sounds kind of funny, but I feel like whatever you're doing for your work is shifting. And in doing so, you may be offered opportunities that feel slightly stale. I'm going to put that way, to move the story forward the way it's been. But I feel like Layla and the Fire Fairy are saying that there's more for you, Scorpio, and that to have creative action and optimism, and to allow meditation, to allow connecting with God and the angels through nature to inspire you, and to reach for the stars, and it's time to shed a new skin. So this is how I want to put it. I think many of you maybe have banging around the idea of doing your own thing on the internet or through some kind of media, virtual media. And then, you know, maybe you've been putting it off because maybe you have to learn how to use that media, or you have to attach some sort of learning to it. But at the end of the day, it's going to make you more happy and you'll feel more fulfilled to follow this dream. So I want to say for Scorpio, right now, I think it's time to allow whatever communications are coming over the internet. That's where I'm really getting that strong. It's not just phone calls. It feels like opening up to a larger audience and getting creative in the idea of that and starting to nurture that idea and to use this downtime to educate yourself in whatever media that may be. Okay, we're going to go on to our Libras. Okay, I see we went on a little blue cheese rant. Did I see that? Yeah, you're not into the chunky stuff. Oh my goodness. You just don't know what you're missing, people. You don't know what you're missing. Cabin fever is making you like a hot tamale. And you know what's even better is a little bit, Nikki, you got to put a little bit of Tabasco in there too. If anybody's asking, oh, my connection's getting bad. That's what I get for talking about blue cheese. Tiffany, you're a blue cheese lover. Yay! Girl on my own team. Okay. Ew, Stephen. Nobody ever threw up anything that looked like blue cheese, unless they ate blue cheese. Okay, here we go. Libras. All right, Barbara, you're my girl. I like ranch too, but I'm very specific about my ranch. It has to be Hidden Valley. Okay, I'm done. I'm done talking about food because I'm just making myself hungry. Okay. All right. Libra. Our first angel is Bridget. This, wow, I look so excited. The next is Azure. The third is Desiree. And the final is Ray. I like cheese quite a bit as well. Cheese, wine. Oh, pickled beets and balsamic. That sounds delicious, DC. Oh my goodness. Okay, you guys are going to get me going. Okay. Nikki started with ice cream and now we're all talking about food. It's like we're on Survivor. It's like this lockdown. People want to talk about food because food makes you comfortable. Okay. Libra rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. The Bridget's being joined by the water fairy. Azure's being joined by the lady of the lake. Desiree's being joined by the goblin. Oi, oi, oi. It's going to be a week, peoples. It's going to be a week. And Ray's being joined by the novice. Okay, so we talk about Pluto and Jupiter. It's going to be a lot about our beliefs, a lot about bubbling up our beliefs that may not always be good beliefs. They may be old patterned beliefs, things that we've been cycling through and inadvertently, because we cycle through them in our belief system, we cycle through them in our experiences. Because Bridget is asking Libra to look deeper into their emotions. That's what this is about. And I'm a Libra sun. And, you know, I told you at the beginning of the broadcast, I had an interesting conversation with a family member that really did not go wasn't productive at all. And when I look at this, you know, the choice for me was I was going to be a bad guy, whether I returned the call or didn't return the call. So I decided I might as well return the call because what I want to say for Libra is your desired outcome will happen in the near future. And there's a lady of the lake, which is about deep, deep truth. This whole world is going through a situation that could really rub up against Libra's sense of fairness, Libra's sense of equality. You know, people hoarding toilet paper could make Libra nutty. You know, it could make you really feel irritated and almost mirror a weird energy because you're wanting to neutralize the badness. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of a weird way to say that, but I feel like because Desiree and the ego is in the angel's advice, and Desiree is about conditions are not favorable, and then the ego clearly, look, he's a little annoyed. And being a Libra sun, I honestly get it, because you know when I see people who are grabbing, you know, oh, I need to have all this or that, I'm like, come on, you're not helping the situation. So this Pluto Jupiter week, or I don't think it's going to take, I don't know how long it's going to take Jupiter to move away from Pluto. I would think at least 6 days or so. I'm trying to think. Saturn takes 2 years to go through a sign. Jupiter takes 1. Takes Saturn 8 to 14 days to move a degree. So maybe Jupiter's like half of that. Again, I'm not an astrologer. I'm a dabbler. So for my Libras, a connection to spirit is going to be paramount for this new beginning. It's going to be paramount for you to be able to decipher between your emotions and your intuitions. And I feel like it's really super, super important for Libra to allow themselves to take a minute before engaging, reacting, speaking out, because you may want to step out rather than speak up. And I think that might be where you get to really decipher between what you're effectual at and what you're not. So the desired outcome in the near future, to me, always feels like peace. It feels like people being, you know, more considerate and more compassionate for one another. I believe that is happening, and I believe that it is through this disruption and these dynamics that are going on. I got to think that when Saturn and Pluto only come together once every 184 years, well, then all the other planets that joined them probably only happens once every about 184 years or so. So this is really this opportunity to I guess connect with spirit so that we can feel a sense of peace and connectedness during this new beginning. I guess I feel like Libra is going to be really kind of, it almost feels like Libra will feel ashamed of how some people behave around them. I'm not sure they're going to be ashamed of themselves. And I think that trying to go in there and balance that out, it would be an exercise in futility for you. And so, again, connecting to spirit. And when I say connecting to spirit, it isn't just sitting in meditation. It isn't just trying to quiet the mind. It's also allowing yourself a conversation. I'm feeling distraught about this. I'm feeling, discouraged with the way the world is working. Give me signs and omens to open that up. Okay. All right, here we go. I don't know what Glastonbury is. I'm thinking it's a concert. Good morning, Ras. I don't know how to say Rasmus Mortensen. And I think I said hi to CJD. Hi, Brianna. Hi, Sorel. Okay, got everybody. All right, we're going on to our Virgos. Yeah, there's a lot that I think we're waking up to. What's the deeper truth? What are we attached to? I don't know if it's so bad to be attached to things as long as we're attached in a way that's authentic. And authentic attachment is a bit of detachment. I sing a lot to myself, weird songs, and I sing to Lucky. I got to tell you, Lucky can feel the energy too. He's been super sweet. This last 2 weeks, if I ask him to give me a kiss, he actually doesn't give me too much grief about it. Because he doesn't like to wear clothes. He's not a big hugger. He doesn't like me to carry him that much unless he's in his pouch. He's quite a boy. All right, on to our Virgos. Virgo, rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. He just knocked all my pillows over. Oh, Stephen, if you adopt a dog, you just be prepared for your heart to fall in love in ways that you won't even be able to understand until you do it. Okay. For our Virgos, Layla is our first angel. The second is patience. Lucky's knocking my pillows off of the couch, literally with his nose, pushing them out of the way. My child. Okay. We have Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Uriel. All right, Virgo. On to your 3-ring circle. Yeah, I bet. I agree. CJD, Mother Earth is saying it's time for us to sit down and take a minute. Here's Layla being joined by Merlin. Patience is being joined by the Wasp. Archangel Gabriel is being joined by the Novice, and Archangel Uriel is being joined by the Goblin. Okay, Virgo, this may be a really rough week. I'm just going to be honest and put it out there because this is a rough spread. Layla talks about spending time in nature, and I know a lot of us are in lockdown, and I don't know if some of you are still experiencing like really cold weather, because that will almost exasperate the lockdown, I would think. But there's a pearl to be had as you are willing to slow it down. And this might be really hard for Virgo because you rule the 6th house of work. You're very practical. You're going to want to know how this is going to play out. Where am I going? You rule illness and health, that house. So I feel like this is a week that you really have, as a tribe here on Lada's channel, that we think in more Jupiterian ways, allowing that to expand and to be willing to be brave enough to look into what the Pluto has to offer. What is the little dark underbelly that we all have going on underneath? Because patience is here with the Wasp, and the Wasp is about anger. It's about jealousy. It's about retaliation. very Plutonian. And then we have patience. Patience is about learning. It's about assimilating. It's about paying attention to a situation energetically and then taking that into your actions moving forward. Because in the opportunity, the obstacle is Archangel Gabriel saying you have an important mission in communications and the arts, but this is also about turning over your insecurities, and there's the unstable new beginning. So for Virgo, being practically minded, getting things done, mercurial ruled, wanting to, run around the neighborhood, get the, work done, putting teams together, all those third house, well, I say third house, but there's sixth house also kind of third house. And I say that because third house rules your neighborhood, sixth house rules your work. You're stuck in your neighborhood and you can't work. And Virgo may be going a little crazy because you can't move the story forward. So, because Archangel Uriel is about being frustrated, and there's the ego. So this is really kind of, I will say, this is a challenging dynamic. And this week, that may be exactly what you're going to experience, is that you're going to have to see that, and I'm going to say this lovingly, but if you're frustrating yourself because you can't move forward, the whole world can't move forward. So kind of, all right, maybe I'll bring out my knitting needles. Maybe I'll work out in the garage and build that, toolbox I always wanted. Something like that. I feel like it's a redirect of some way. So try not to be too hard on yourself, because I don't think that this is happening on the outside. The opportunity or the obstacle is on the interior. And while this is in the final position, you just may be frustrated with the world at large and without being able to get things going. All right. On to our Leos. Somebody talking about shampoo. Yeah, that's this. I will tell you, I feel a little like Sasquatch. My eyebrows, my fingernails need to be done, my toes. Yeah. I don't know why, I work from home. I don't know why the quarantine is making me feel less motivated to get up and get dressed. It's like I just want to throw my hair in a ponytail and put on some sweatpants and mosey through my day. Oh, wow. Apple cider vinegar. That must make it shiny. Thank you, CJD. Okay, here we go. On to our Leos. Leo rising, Leo moons, Leo sun, and Leo stelliums. Okay. Archangel Gabriel is here for our Leos. In the first position, we have Oceana and Ray, and we have Archangel Uriel. Wow. Okay. All came the same. Sweatpants and scrunchies. That's it. All right. Leo. Okay. Joining Archangel Gabriel is the love card for Leo. Joining Oceana is the partnership card. Joining Ray is the trust card. And joining Archangel Uriel is the High Priestess. Very interesting. So, Archangel Gabriel talks about insecurities. She on this card, she governs, divine life's purpose with communications and the arts. But this is insecurities here. And then I have the love card. I feel like for my Leos, there's a very high potential that you may, on some level, be unable to, I kind of want to say communicate, but I don't feel like that's the right way to put it. I almost feel like, because in the final position is Archangel Uriel, frustration, anger, and there's the High Priestess. The High Priestess is about discernment, about prophecy, about vision, about a version of what I want for myself. And when I look at this spread, I almost feel like in some ways that I know that Leos are, many of you you're in couples, you're in partnership, but I feel like maybe this is a week where two ways I want to put this. One, if you're single, maybe you're wishing that you had a love interest with you during this time, because I've got the partnership card and Oceana in the opportunity, the obstacle, and then I have Ray and the trust card. And then there may be the potential that some of my Leos are with the people they love and they married, and they're a little annoyed because it's too much togetherness, not enough space. And I feel like on some level, when I look at this spread, I feel like when I look at Archangel Gabriel, I feel like I'm supposed to have a conversation with her about love as a Leo. And I feel this might be a little bit bigger than just intimate love. So yes, many of you are stuck with your families. I don't have a family. So I'm just me and the dog. And I could go into a place where I'm like, oh, it's so sad I don't have anyone here. But, I think to myself, if I had someone here, they better be someone I like to be around, someone who doesn't bug me. So what I'm thinking for my Leos is that this may be you're feeling kind of funky in the love department, in your relationship, in your partnerships. And Oceana is saying to lovingly take action and to assert yourself. And if you look at her, she's coming up through the ocean in light, and there's a whale behind her. There's something for you to learn about this partnership dynamic. And I don't think this is about somebody else. It may be about you and partnership with your own frustrations. Not everybody is perfect, including Leo. And, we're all flawed beings. So I feel like in the angel's advice, this is time to connect with spirit again. And maybe this is to do with the lack of love in the world. Maybe it's not just intimate love. Maybe it's a version of the world that you're like, what is wrong with people these days? Why is everybody gouging? I feel like that prices are going up. Discounts are going down. People aren't having jobs, and we're all scared. So I feel like for Leo, for this week, Archangel Gabriel and Archangel Uriel want to work really closely with you to help you with your frustrations or even maybe your anger, to see a higher wisdom of things. And again, here we have this conjunction of higher ideals and of, criminal behavior in Pluto, people being, out of balance. And so I feel like when I look at this might be, a little bit of a leadership role that Leo feels, like a sense of the Lion King, standing there, and you want to roar at all those people that are out of balance, but I don't think that will serve you. Let me just pull a clarification card for this Archangel Uriel thing. Hold on. Burden. See, I think this might have to do with the world at large and how incredibly not fun it is right now, and how we may hear more coming up. I know we've got a full moon coming up in, I believe, Libra, which is going to create some challenging dynamics. And April is at large going to be a little bit challenging, having this slow moving opportunity for growth. So, okay, on to our Cancers. Oil Painter, when I first looked up, I thought it said crotchety. I've been obsessed with crotchety lately through this. And then I realized you said crocheting. So I laughed. Brianna, don't worry about it. This is what I want to say. There's this conjunction and this opportunity that's going through, walking through these rather, they're revolutionary times. We in the 21st century read about, the American Revolution, the Civil War here or wherever you are in your country. And we look at them and they can be sort of romanticized, and you think about people getting freedoms, but they were scary times where people have uncertainty. And it's only in the hindsight that we get that privilege of knowing how it's going to pay off. Or play out. So it's kind of our job to hold that vision for ourselves, because we are writing history right now. We are writing history, and our future selves will be reading about it. Oil Painter, you're so funny. Good morning, Patricia. Good to see you. Good morning, Nirvana Flux. I am just moving on to Cancer now. Oop, come on, let's get some. All right. Okay, here we go. Someone have to get blocked? Okay. Here we go. All right, for our Cancers, our first angel is Azure. The second is Grace and Antoinette. The third is Ariel, and the final is Layla. Okay. Sorel. If I read that right, Solel Luke, is it peace with tequila? Check. Stargazing from home? That's why I put those together. Hi, LP. Okay, here we go. Azure is being joined by the Wasp. Oy, 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 guys. Grace and Antoinette is being joined by the Risk card. Ariel's being joined by the Burden card, and Layla is being joined by the Swan. We talk about these conjunctions. We talk about the challenges. We talk about the opportunities that they present. But we never know how they're going to feel till we're actually swimming through them. We're never going to know how we will truly react until we're presented with the experience. So here we have Azure says your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. Have faith and don't try to force it. And then here's the Wasp. This Wasp could very much be Pluto to me today. Pluto's a stinging energy, you know, it's bringing up some stuff. So I feel like this is Jupiter and this is Pluto for you guys. So your job is to know that your desired outcome, peace will be restored. Your everyday life, your family routines, the people that you love, the things that you want to do will come back into balance. It may a new balance, but balanced nonetheless. And in many ways, we're all feeling this energy right now, this stinginess. And I'm going to go to the fourth position for my Cancers because getting out and taking a walk around the block and there's no way out of this transformation. We are transforming from the ugly duckling into the swan. And in many ways, I believe that my Cancers have called forth a lot of this transformation. I feel like you've sat in a place of teetering on or feeling like you've had glimpses of how you want your own personal utopia to be, but at the same time, it hasn't gotten solid. So now is a time, I think, to risk a bigger picture for you. And I say that because it's about having compassion with yourself as you feel stinging. Because when I think of Cancer, I think that you really are very much a nurturing energy, a team player energy, a wanting to make things better energy. And I don't know if you can right now. And so, having compassion for self, because you may have trouble even connecting with spirit this week. There's the Burden card and Ariel. And that may be part of what makes this week kind of more difficult for you, because you can't connect with your higher power. You can't connect in a way that feels as strong as it has in the past. Might feel a little bit more flimsy. And then we have the idea of you can't not really connect with the people that you love and the friend families that you've made. So I think it's the time to, if you feel tired and you want to take a nap, let yourself. If you want to just, kind of sit and absorb is the word I want to put, absorb things. Because I think through that, you'll find a sense of solace. I don't think everything's going to be all hunky-dory by the end of this week, but I do think that you'll start to feel slightly lighter. That's the only way I could put it. So there we go. You guys are up in LA? I'm down here in Orange County. Shelly, you're where in LA? I grew up in LA. Lived in Santa Monica for 15 years. Frequented that Santa Monica Mall before it was even a hot spot. All right, we are going on to our Geminis. I'm sorry. I'm so bad. I got to stop. I can't help it, you guys. I just talk too much. I don't even have any planets in the 3rd house of Gemini. My Mercury is in the 8th house. You'd think I'd stop talking, but I don't. I just keep talking. Okay. Gemini, here we go. Gemini rising, moon, sun, and stelliums. Our first angel is Daniel. The second is Rochelle. The third is Azure. And the final is Vanessa. All right, here we go. Toluca Lake, Mary. Oh my goodness, I used to work in Toluca Lake, right off the CBS, near the CBS studios. I worked at Radford for years. Okay, here we go. I have to laugh because I have a Gemini gal in my tribe, and I feel like the spread right now looks like it's for her. Okay, here we go. Joining Daniel is the frog. Joining Rochelle is the spider. Joining Azure is a high priestess. And joining Merlin is, or joining Vanessa is Merlin. All right. So here we go. What happened? Oh, thank you, oil painter. Okay. I hope I didn't offend anybody. Did I say something off color? Oh, maybe it's not me. It's somebody in a fashion show. Okay. Gemini. This is the angel of marriage, Daniel. And there's the frog. Now, interesting, Gemini rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. Daniel talks about bringing in a certain history in relationships. And it is our job to look at that history. And what I'm seeing is this history of relationships being cleaned up. Because Gemini, as you honor and follow the guidance of your heart that Rochelle offers you, relationship is coming to you, whether you see it or not, whether you know it or not. And this is where I really have to get kind of a little cheeky, because Gemini, you're the twins. You can go back and forth, something, I don't know. And I feel like, because I'm going to jump to the final position, then I'll go to the third. This is really about faith. Have faith. Make your decisions based on faith. Things are happening that you can't see. And in doing so, Merlin is balanced through pressure, okay? So in the foundational position, Daniel is saying, Gemini, look at your history and partnership, because when you look at your history and partnership, you will feel an emotional releasing of things that have come before that didn't serve you. You will see a wisdom to it, because you will be happy that you followed the guidance of your heart. Because to me, the spider is a relationship card, and Azure is saying, your desired outcome will happen in the very near future. Have faith and don't try to force it, because it is what you want. It is a higher version of what you want and what you've been hanging out or holding out for. Or, if you had engaged in anything earlier, it would have been just a sliver or just a shade of what it is you want. Because I really believe that Merlin is bringing in a very strong love relationship for you. And maybe this distancing, maybe this social distancing is giving others an opportunity to reflect about what's most important for them, and thereby releasing their emotional baggage. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. We are on to our Tauruses. Taurus rising, Taurus moon, Taurus sun, and Taurus stelliums. You're welcome, LH. It's interesting because we'll often see that because this is the angel's advice for traversing the transits. So we'll see that these transits have the certain dynamics, and then we are going to all be experiencing, every single one of us will be experiencing the Pluto dynamic, bringing up our deepest beliefs. What do we believe about ourselves, about the world at large, about our ability to create, our ability to feel and give love? All of these things are going to come up. And then, there's the potential that they may expand the dark side before the transformation. And when I say that, it's just people may become more fearful, more disheartened. And as a tribe, I think if we can say, this is just a moment in time that has yet to reveal the beauty of it, and then seek the beauty. Okay. Thank you, La Luna. Okay. Here we go on to our Taurus. Okay. We have Yvonne in the first position, Serena in the second, Indril in the third, and Opal in the final position. Okay, joining Yvonne is the Goblin. Oh yeah, the Goblin has made himself known today. Serena is being joined by the Fire Fairy. Indril is being joined by the Baird, and Opal is being joined by the Novice. Okay, so the first thing I couldn't help but think when I started pulling the cards was that Taurus rules second house of possessions and money, and that many people, I don't know worldwide, but basically walking in my own neighborhood, the whole place is shut down. You can't go to the hairdresser, you can't go to the nail salon, you can't go to a restaurant, you can't walk into a market. The Trader Joe's down the street from my house, I was talking to a friend on the phone. It's in a strip mall that's probably 2 miles long, and the line to get in to Trader Joe's was about half a mile long because everybody had to stand so far away from each other. So this is where I'm going with this. Your material resources may be really on your mind right now, Taurus. You may be thinking, I only have so many resources. I only have so many avenues for to make money. And your ego may be screaming at you right now, being like, yeah, we are really in a hot water now. We are in it. We are, I don't know what's going to happen. And then there's this card of vulnerability. It's this card of saying, what are you really going to believe? Because in the opportunity obstacle is Serena, the angel of abundance, and here's the Fire Fairy. So I want to put it this way. I feel like this is really about, I feel like what I want to say for Taurus, my neighbor's music's getting slightly louder, so I got a little distracted. You may be looking at making money through old ways of doing it. Whatever your old job was, whatever your old ways of producing financial security. And now it's time to have some creative action and optimism, or to revisit some ideas that you've had in the past. Because here's the Baird, the card of history. It's also a musical card, playing your music. And here's the Lightworker card in the form of Indril. So let's say that Taurus has had an idea. Oh, years ago, being single now for 60 years and 40 of them living alone, I always wanted the single loaf of bread. Like, why can't they just make half a loaf of bread instead of, why do I have to buy this whole big loaf of bread and then throw out half? And I know you can put it in the freezer. I don't like frozen bread. So I digress, but I feel like Taurus, there's ideas you've had throughout the years that it might be time to run them back around, to laugh, to when I say laugh, I mean allow the things from your childhood to bubble up, because I have Opal here and I have the unstable new beginning. So the way I want to put it is that I think that Opal is not representing your children being safe in heaven and earth. And many of you may have children. I think it's about a vulnerability to go back into ideas that you've had, or things that you've thought about or been interested in from back when you were younger, when you were less apt to look at the practicality of your ideas and more apt to be excited about them. So, because I feel like what's happening for Taurus is that Pluto and Jupiter are going to start to bring inspired ideas on how to create new resources. And I think those resources are still in the Ethernet somewhere. And part of it is allowing yourself to go through this process right now of distinguishing between where the goblin's ego is kind of barking at you, and then being vulnerable to giving life to the new idea, and then connecting with spirit and saying, if this is a viable solution, or if this is a viable avenue, or I always wanted to do that blog, and maybe now I'm going to start it. And if only one person watches, it's not about that right now. It's about starting to allow yourself to get some momentum. It's about the unstable new beginning from a childlike place of joy. Because okay, so Taurus is a bull, and a bull could be thought of as working hard and pushing towards something. And I feel like this is a time that Jupiter is saying, maybe you can switch those beliefs up and maybe there's something easier. Maybe there's something more enjoyable. If you're going to work hard, do you want to work hard at something you like or something you don't like? So there we go. All right. On to our final sign, Taurus. Oh my goodness. Don't be drinking 95% grain alcohol. You be seeing all sorts of crazy stuff. That ain't gonna help. I'll stick with my Veneto. Okay. What did I miss? I think I missed something funny. All right. Here we go. On to our final sign. Oh, good. You don't transfer sanitizer. Okay. I was going to say that's like a little rough. That would send you off to I don't even know where. Okay. Quick little sip of my tea. Okay. So you guys, I'm just going to throw it out there. Do you want me to do a Wednesday get together again? You want to, while we're all still in social distancing, you want to do 11 a.m. on Wednesday and chat it up? Let me know if you do. Put it in the comments. All right. Final sign, Aries, for today. What is up? This is me, Aries rising, sun, moon, and stelliums. All right, cool. All right, here we go. Our first angel is Seraphina. The second is Vanessa. The third is Serena. And the final is Archangel Gabriel. All right, cool. All right, then I'll put it in the calendar. I'll be here on Wednesday. I don't know what we'll talk about yet. We'll find something. And Wednesday, we should be kind of this week's going to be pivotal in many ways. Okay. What am I talking about? This whole year is pivotal. We go week to week, but. Oh my goodness, working in a dental office. I'm really surprised that people would be wanting to breathe that closely to anybody, let alone your dentist during this time. I know my dentist and I wouldn't want him to clean my teeth right now. Not that I don't like him. That sounded mean. Okay. The fire fairy is showing up with Seraphina. Vanessa is being joined by the frog. Serena's being joined by the king. And Archangel Gabriel's being joined by the swan. Okay, here we go. So Seraphina on the face of the card talks about a happy change coming to the family. And I want to say this, I live alone. So Lucky and I think of us as a family. And I want to say this, the fire fairy, Aries, is rules you. It's the spark of creativity. It is the optimistic attitude. And I feel like that's what Spirit is saying for Aries this week, is to this happy change comes in the family as a result of your own creative thought process, as your own willingness to sit in your truth. Sorry to interrupt. It's 12:29 in California right now. Aries, because now is a time to look at your faith over fear. Now is a time for you to let the frog do what it does and to leap from one lily pad to another. And I say that because all the resources that you need will be provided for by God and the angels because you've done the work, Aries. Somehow you've been standing in justice of yourself. You've been standing in truth. You've been standing in your authenticity, because I believe that you're being offered huge transformation right now. And I want to say that too, because I think it's transforming you from feeling insecure to knowing that you will always be provided for. I'm an Aries rising, and we kind of mentioned earlier in Vedic, I'm an Aries moon as well. You know, when I first hear those kind of things and I hear other, see other people hear them, I kind of see them all go, that could be scary. But on the transformed side, it could be so incredibly truth-seeking and brave. And that's what I think I'm talking about for Aries this week. It's about being optimistic in your truth-seeking, that will help shift not only you, but everyone that you vibrate around, whether it be over the internet or whether it be in person, whether it be at the checkout stand at the market. Because I believe that Aries is starting to really trust a bigger picture, starting to trust a faith that is helping them to clean things up, because the angels are showing this is a just. When I say just, I literally mean fair and balanced. I mean karmically, this is your time to reap the rewards. I feel like this is, of all the signs, this week, I feel like Aries sort of has a little bit of an advantage because they're that fire. Because with that fire, it feels like you've been burning the torch of truth for so long that now the world is finally starting to come around to your authenticity. And when I look at Archangel Gabriel, she talks about turning your insecurities over, but she talks about communications. And I think that there is a potential for Aries to really be very impactful in their communications, in their focusing in on the bright side, or focusing in on what opportunities are being laid before you and then capitalizing on them. Okay. And I want to kind of say this rounding up. I feel like there is, I'm not getting any exercise either. I feel like that this might be a little bit of a week where in general, people are going to get sick of the lockdown, sick of the restriction. And I feel like that could create more frustration. And there, again, this is a surrendering to it, because a lot of this is because we're being told we can't. And if we think about, choice. I said to Lucky yesterday, it's going to sound kind of kooky, but I've worked from home for 6.5 years. And I said to him yesterday, I'm like, if I still worked for that chiropractor, I would be enjoying this lockdown more than I already am, because I'd be able to spend it with you. Now, that sounds a little stupid, because if I still had a job, I wouldn't be with Lucky every day. But there was a part of me that could go back to an old story and find appreciation for what I'm experiencing today, and to find how overall my life has transformed, and much more so than it had ever had before. So this time in history, these planets offering us these ways of looking at things, this opportunity for reflection, for reevaluation, and not in a mercurial retrograde way, but in a more like, we are laying the foundation for the future right now. We are laying the energetic foundation for how we're going to process this new world. So as we stand in a place of faith and we connect with spirit, thank you so much for allowing me to be an agent of light, allowing me to be the gestures of joy, and not in a way that feels like you're crazy, because a lot of people are going to be like, if you're too happy, people will be like, they're just crazy, so forget about that. But something that's earthbound, so that it can be tangible and therefore set the ripple effect. Okay. All right. Yeah, mid-April is going to be very interesting for us all. All of April is going to be interesting. And I think we might get a bit of a reprieve for a bit. And then I'm really going to interested to see what happens when we have the retrogrades coming up. That's going to be something. All right. So that's it for today. I want to thank everybody for joining me. Somebody, who was it? One of our regulars, somebody put a number in the chat. I'm not doing the game anymore. We kind of retired the game for now. We're thinking about figuring out another game, but then the lockdown came in and my creative juices have ever been so slightly put on low. So, well, Elizabeth, I'm gonna go with your school of thought and say that I think that any percentage of better would be just an awareness for us all to just kind of sit here and go, what vibration do I want to leave in this place at this time? So when you're in the market and you see there's toilet paper, what kind of vibration do you want to leave in that aisle? All right, guys, I want to thank you again all for being here, sending tons of love to you. I will be back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific. I don't know what we'll talk about. If you want to throw in some suggestions, you have curiosities, you have topics, we'll do Pacific time, 11 a.m. Pacific, just for consistency. So y'all know that. All right, I'm going to go grab me some lunch and do my afternoon. Thank you, everybody. And for those of you that do the timestamps, I think Marimar, do we have Marimar? Is that her name? I want to tell you how much I appreciate you doing that for us every week. You've been really helping both me and Small Wildflowers out. And that's it. So we'll see you in a couple of days, guys. Be good to yourselves. All right. Love and peace.